One of today's top stories, Sunday, March 9th. It's about PH interest, says the Department of Foreign Affairs chief as he disputes claims of distortion in the South China Sea issue. Department of Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo denied China's claims that Manila has launched a smear campaign to pit Beijing against Western powers in the South China Sea issue. In a media interview on Saturday, March 8th, the DFA chief stated that China's comment was distorting the issue. He said, here we are again. In a way, distorting the issue that is being cast in light of the strategic rivalry among the big powers, where actually the issue is really an issue of Philippine interest and how it affects the Philippines. Manalo insisted that Manila has no connections with any kind of strategic rivalry among the big powers. He added, that should not be viewed that way. And if that's unfortunately the way they viewed it then, certainly it won't really lead to any productive talk. So we really hope that we look at this as an issue which concerns Philippine interest. Specifically, not any other country. House leaders are confident the Supreme Court will favor the impeachment complaint against Vice President Duterte. House leaders have expressed confidence that the Supreme Court will uphold the legality of the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte. Deputy Majority Leader and La Union 1st District Representative Paulo Ortega V said Saturday, March 8th, that the House of Representatives followed due process in filing the impeachment complaint. He denied claims that the House committed any procedural violations and stressed that any legal challenge to the impeachment is merely a delaying tactic. House Assistant Majority Leader and Zambales 1st District Representative Jay Kong-hun echoed Ortega's sentiment and stressed that the impeachment process was carried out with full adherence to legal requirements and constitutional guidelines. 2 Philippine Air Force pilots killed in the Bukidnon crash honored at Villamor Air Base. The Philippine Air Force paid tribute to 2 fighter pilots who died during an aviation accident in Bukidnon as their remains arrived at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City on Saturday, March 8th. The remains of Major Jude S. Salangoy and First Lieutenant April John B. Dadulia of 5th Fighter Wing were flown by the PAF from Cagayan de Oro City via a C-130 transport plane that arrived at Villamor Air Base around 3 p.m. Their caskets draped with Philippine flag were welcomed by Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. and Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief, General Romeo Bronner Jr. Also present were PAF Commanding General Lieutenant General Arthur Cordura, the families and relatives of the fallen pilots, and other ranking defense and military officials. Scattered rains prevail over parts of the Philippines. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration on Sunday, March 9th said 3 weather systems, the shear line, easterlies, and northeast monsoon, will bring cloudy skies and rains to various parts of the country over the next 24 hours. The shear line, which forms from the collision of cold winds from the northeast monsoon and warm breezes from the Pacific Ocean, will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms to Bicol region, Cordillera Administrative Region, Mainland Cagayan, Isabela, Aurora, Rizal, Laguna, and Quezon. Pagasa warned of potential flash floods or landslides in areas affected by the shear line and easterlies, especially during moderate to heavy rainfall. International Women's Day protests demand equal rights, an end to discrimination, and an end to sexual violence. Women took to the streets of cities across Europe, Africa, South America, and elsewhere to mark International Women's Day with demands for ending inequality and gender-based violence. On the Asian side of Istanbul, Turkey's biggest city, a rally in Kadıköy saw members of dozens of women's groups listen to speeches, dance, and sing in the spring sunshine. The colorful protest was overseen by a large police presence, including officers in riot gear and a water cannon truck. Critics have accused the government of overseeing restrictions on women's rights and not doing enough to tackle violence against women. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph